Hello children. Now I am going to give you the explanation of the first paragraph of We Are the Music Makers. We are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. The poet speaks through the collective voice we, the artists, magicians, writers, painters, sculptors. Since it avoids mention of a particular art form, it applies equally to artists across the globe, across different segments. According to this poem, everything can be art so long as there is creation involved. The poet considers the artist as music makers. Music can pierce the heart directly. It brings solace to our heart. The same way, all art forms give us comfort in a time of great distress or sadness, or soothes our mind and soul. This way, the artists are music makers. We are the dreamers of dream. All artists are dreamers of dream because they dare to dream and they have capability to turn their dream into reality. The artists are capable of creating dream like utopian world. Wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams. They usually wander by lone sea, by desolate stream, because they don't find themselves fit for this materialistic society. Their purpose of being on this earth is very different from common people, where at one side, the common folk, the common people, are busy in gaining materialistic comfort. The artist, on the other side, thinks how to satisfy his soul. They wander alone by seaside, by desolate river, sit in isolation, to search their soul, to seek meaning and inspiration. They live in their own imaginative world, and it is through their brilliant imagination they are able to create amazing work arts. They are not a part of crowd, so it implies a certain level. These artists are kind of depressed. They face a lot of problem. They are alone at times. It is said when you are sad, you are able to create the best of your art. These artists have an ache in their heart that actually shapes up their creativity, which is worth such admiration. It is very easy to understand the nature of an artist. If I ask you to write one poem on nature by sitting inside the class of 40 students, will you be able to? No, you won't be able to. For that, you have to go outside and sit in peace near nature. Then only you will be able to write. Or not. Then the poet calls them world losers and world forsakers. This highlights the difficult life of the artist. An artist has to face hardship in his life, and these hardships bring out the art in their life. World losers means those who remain unsuccessful materially. For an artist, it gets difficult to survive solely on their art. The best example can be given this time is B. Wordsworth, because you have read about him, a wonderful writer. And you know about him and his hardships. The world forsakers, those who make sacrifices the comforts of the worlds. The artists have to forsake the world, and that is why they are able to create their art. At times, they have to give up the world. They don't bother what the world will think because they have to create their own art. That is why they are world forsakers. They have to forsake the world for the sake of their art. upon whom the pale moon gleams. The moon does not shine brightly on them. In fact, the pale moon points to the little or meager sustenance they manage to gain for themselves through their art. The pale moon signifies the hardship of the artist. They earn less, they don't enjoy a very shiny kind of life, such as Don Keats, who relied on good fortune and a staggering amount of wealth. And yet we are the movers and shakers of the world. The artist can bring a change in the world through their work, through their powerful creation. They are not successful in the worldly sense. They sacrifice a lot. They have their own isolated world, yet they are the mover and shakers of the world. By the phrase, the poet means someone who colors outside the lines. People who show the world a face outside the societal norms. They defy the norms of the society and try to push it forward. So now this explanation is over. Let's see some critical comments for this paragraph. Number 1, it is the origin of the phrase movers and shakers. Next, music makers and dreamers of dreams, metaphor for creative artists. Next, beautiful imagery in the phrase wandering by lone sea breakers. Next, visual imagery. The line is and sitting by desolate streams. Next, the movers and shakers. Metaphor for the creative artist who challenge the status quo and move forward. Next, world losers and world forsakers implies the difficulty of sustaining a life on art. Okay, children, very soon I'll be coming with the explanation of next paragraph. Take care.